Something that I think is really important in a musician's journey, or can be important, and that I want to strongly encourage you to do, is to learn how to improvise. Now, that can be very intimidating for some people. And fair enough. It can come with a lot of weight, especially if you want to learn how to improvise in something like jazz or Western swing, right? There can be a lot of knowledge out there, and there can be a lot of um, bad information, and there can also be a lot of pressure involved in that. I've got to learn all these things and these scales and these arpeggios, and got to think through these chord changes and all this stuff. Even if you're learning to improvise in something like bluegrass, where maybe the chord changes are simpler, but there's still this virtuosic component to some of these amazing players, and they're still being aware of the melody, and the chords, but they're doing all these amazing things to it. And just there's a lot of mindfulness in improvisation. I may not be selling this very well so far, but what I want to say is it's worth learning how to improvise on some level, even if you don't do it to what you feel like is maybe the highest possible level for you or in general. You don't have to be the next Charlie Parker, but learning how to be comfortable in a moment where you don't know what to do musically, or you're not sure of the next move, or maybe you've painted yourself into a corner or something like that, and then suddenly you're kind of in this moment. And if you're comfortable with just spontaneity, that's really the point. If you're comfortable just being spontaneous and seeing what comes out, well, then that's where a lot of magic can happen. The great blues guitar player Stevie Ray Vaughan, a friend of mine had told me that he once heard in an interview, or maybe I saw it in an interview, I can't remember, where Stevie was saying that he loved, or he learned to love, when he would make mistakes, because it would put him in this place where if he would trust that while he's playing live, the mistake wasn't a wrong thing, it's just something he didn't intend to play, which, if you think about it, that's kind of improvisation in its own right, because it's this opportunity to go, well, I wouldn't have normally played that, so where can that lead me, right? So now think of this in terms of like if you're playing more traditional music, right? Like I was playing a gig with a buddy of mine here in my town, and we were playing some old time and playing a bunch of different stuff. And there's so many moments where like maybe he wanted to play backup guitar for me while I was playing a tune from a fiddle player named Doc Roberts. It's called New Money. It's a great tune. It's a great tune. Really pretty little fiddle tune. I hadn't played it in a while. I've been playing a little bit recently, but I hadn't like really played it up to tempo or anything. And I was like, all right, let's go for it, you know? But there's a couple things. One, I knew that, okay, worst case scenario, maybe I mess it up, and that's fine. That's all good. Nothing terrible will happen. But two, I played Western swing and jazz professionally for so many years, and I spent so many years improvising, and I still love improvising. I don't pursue it as much in the same ways as I used to. But I knew that I could always figure something out. I could always come up with an answer to a problem in a moment. I could come up with a solution to where maybe I was stuck. And of course, the fun thing about improvising and learning how to do that and being open to those possibilities is that's where variations can come in. And variations are great. I mean, and really, how many great players in the jazz context will talk about just improvise using the melody. Let the melody be your guide, right? So you take something and then you can kind of just open that melody up a little bit and see what can come of it. And a lot can happen from that alone. So my point being is I want to encourage you to improvise. This is why you should learn how to improvise. Improvisation is such a powerful tool. It can teach you so much about yourself, musical skill set, and you can start with very simple things. What I do with my beginner improv students, so for the kids that I teach and the adults, is I'll just put on a little backing track on YouTube. There's some great ones. You can type in like a 251 for more jazz, oriented, but you can find all kinds of things. And just, whatever your instrument is, the violin, the A string is a good place to start. So be in the key of A and just sit there and just play rhythm. Improvise with just the rhythm. Don't think about notes. Don't think about chord changes. That can all come later. It's just not that big a deal. The point is to be able to be spontaneous and to be comfortable with that, like, I don't know what's going to happen, and actually learning to love that I don't know. I think that's where a lot of the gold is. Learning to love that I don't know. That's where a lot of good stuff is in music. Anyways, I hope if you don't already know how to improvise and it intimidates you, I hope that this opens up the idea for you and you're willing to try some stuff out. And please let me know if there's anything I can help you with. I'd be happy to do so. Just leave me a comment or shoot me an email. All right, thanks.